Hello, welcome everybody to Vinyl Addict, and today I want to share with you a couple of out-of-print vinyls that I have, and if you see them, they're essential. I think you should pick them up. The first one is Jane's Addiction, the XXX 1987 album. Now, this record here is a live recording of Jane's Addiction. Now, they will come out with a debut on Warner Brothers in '88, Nothing Shocking, and two of the songs on here, they perform Jane Says and Pigs and Zen, will be included on that album, the studio version. But this is the original one, and it's recorded at the Roxy, and it has also cover songs, a Velvet Underground song called Rock and Roll, and Sympathy for the Devils by the Rolling Stones, but they call it Sympathy here. And so I was just fortunate to find this one. This is the one with the perfect one. When I say that, because there's a pressing of this album where Pigs and Zen is written Pigs in 10. And so this is the Pigs and Zen version. So if you see this one, pick it up. This is an awesome album. To me, Jane's Addiction is, well, when something unusual comes out, they call it alternative, but it's still rock and roll. I mean, here they are covering Rock and Roll, the song, and covering Sympathy for the Devil from the greatest rock and roll band ever, the Rolling Stones. They are heirs to that. This is a rock album, if anything. And Dave Navarro is, he's the one who pretty much, how I describe him is bridging Zeppelin and The Cure together. And so you have that kind of goth thing about Jane's Addiction when it came out, but then you got that heavy blues rock thing coming as well, and with a little punk aesthetic on top. And you get all that here, and you get Perry playing the harmonica. So there's some little folky stuff about Jane's Addiction there. They're just all around a great rock and roll band. Okay, so that being said, my next record, this will probably never be ever reissued, and I'm just very fortunate to have it. This is Badlands. Now, this is an album that came out in '89, and it's a gold stamp promo. And you can see it says play it, say it. This is kind of old school kind of thing. And now this band is comprised of old Sabbath members. So you got Jakey Lee, who was with Ozzy, who was with Sabbath, and he was fired from Ozzy. He had 2 albums with Ozzy. He had the Bark at the Moon, and he also had the what was the one after, Ultimate Sin. So Ray Gillen here, he was in Sabbath. He replaced Glenn Hughes, who was the Deep Purple singer, but he was in the Seven Star album, and halfway through the tour, something happened. I think it has to do with a fight or something like that, but there were some problems with Glenn, and Ray, who was relatively unknown, was picked up by Tony Iommi, and to finish off the tour, they started off on their next album, Eternal Idol, and I guess the story is Ray wasn't really creative, is what they would say, in the studio, and so he sang a few things, and then Tony Martin came in and redid his vocals, and so he was on his own again, and he took Eric Singer from that lineup, and Eric Singer was the drummer from that Sabbath, and the other guy, Greg, I think his name, he was someone that Jakey met in an Aussie audition. So he just kind of put them all together, and what this is a very, for that time, a very heavy blues, Zeppelin-esque kind of band. It wasn't, you know, they've always been kind of thrown into the hair metal thing. Rolling Stone magazine actually had the top 50 albums of hair metal, and they were on it as number 35. Now, if you listen to this music here, it doesn't sound like they're part of that kind of, you know, Warrant or Slaughter type of thing. This is strictly, I mean, just coming from where, who they were playing with, as far as like Iommi and Ozzy, and you know, that family, you know, they're not coming from that place, you know. And the thing about this record is that, like I said, it will never be reissued due to the fact that there's legal issues behind Badlands, and it's unfortunate because this is a great debut for a rock band, and everyone should be able to hear it. You can't even hear it on Spotify. It's not listed in iTunes or anything, due to the fact of, the story goes, is Ray here, he contracted HIV/AIDS, and during between this album and the second album, Voodoo Highway, and apparently through needles, and he contracted HIV, and then he was knowingly, supposedly the tale is, going off and sleeping with groupies, and so then a whole bunch of lawsuits occurred, and so they got rid of him, and in a nutshell. And so for that reason, the tapes of these albums are always going to be locked up, and there's never going to be anyone able to listen to this, only in this format. So happy that I got it, because it's if you see it, you know, somewhere, or you know, I suggest, you know, grabbing one, you know. But if not, you could still go on YouTube and hear the album. You know, the first Badlands album, and the second one's really good. But this one is the one that I have. This is the one with the single Dreams in the Dark and Winter's Call. So that's my video for today. So out of print, Jane's Addiction, out of print, Badlands. You know, pick them up if you come across them. This is great rock and roll entertainment for the soul.